Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into a microphone. Why? Well, just because I can, and I continue with Prisoner of Ice Blind. Let's explore this new area. There seems to be quite a lot of things to be looked at. There is like this weird waiting icon whenever this guy moves, which almost seems to indicate that I might be required to like sneak past him at some point or wait for him to be in a correct position to do something. But before I do, let's just seems to be waiting for someone. Let's just talk to people.
Excuse me, where can I find the curator of the library?
I also have an appointment with him. My father used to work here, but he's disappeared. And an exhibit from the collection has been stolen. I'm really worried.
My name is Ryan.
Diane Parker.
Wait.
Professor Parker's daughter?
She's related to the guy.
That's right.
I'm actually looking for him.
I'm here to find your father, Diane.
Has something happened to him?
I hope not, but I may need your help.
You can rely on me, Ryan.
Okay.
Senor, access to that room is not authorized to the general public.
Okay. What about here?
Senor, access to that room is not authorized to the general public.
Okay, I guess not here either. What about those statues? It is forbidden to touch them. The word forbidden is kind of ominous to me. Like, it seems very ceremonial. Whenever you say that something is forbidden, it sounds like if you just say you can't do something, then it's all mundane. But if you say it is forbidden to do something, then it all sounds, you know, like all mystical and shit. And apparently they look as if they are about to come to life, which I wouldn't be that surprised if they did at some point. Let's talk to this guy.
Excuse me?
No comprendo, senor.
I guess he doesn't speak English. Or at least pretends to not speak English. Even here you're not safe from thieves. It's an empty pedestal from where something has been stolen, which was already mentioned by her, right? More statues. Are the descriptions different? I wouldn't like to have to spend the night in this room. What about this painting? They've got better taste than at Edward's base. Okay. Well, I guess the only thing that remains is to talk to this guy, which, judging from... Damn it.
Senor, access...
I didn't want to click that. But judging from the dialogue with Diane, is actually... is he hiding something behind his courtesy? Well, I guess I'm about to find out. But this is actually the curator of the museum.
Can I help you, senor?
Why is this pedestal empty?
A stone disc of great value was exhibited on top of it, but unfortunately it was stolen from us yesterday.
Okay.
I'd like to look up a work filed with you under reference OTR 2832.
Un momento, senor. Your name, please?
Ryan.
Ryan?
R-Y-A-N.
Senor Jorge, someone would like to look at the work filed under reference OTR 2832. See, a Mr. Ryan, R-Y-A-N. Senorita Parker is also here. Very well, I will send them in.
Okay.
Well, the curator of the library is studying a number of chapters from the book you are interested in. He invites you to join him in his office.
The receptionist just told me that the curator is waiting to see us.
Good, I'll follow you.
Okay, that's just weird. The game just straight up replayed.
Mr. Ryan, come in. Diane?
Hello, Jorge. Do you have any news of my father?
Unfortunately not, but plainclothes policemen have been watching the library all morning. Why do you wish to look up reference OTR 2832?
OTR 2832 is a password, right?
Right. I am prepared to answer all your questions, Mr. Ryan.
What is OTR 2832 all about?
Well, it is a very ancient work. Unfortunately, there is only one copy left in the world. The one Miguel is holding.
What had Professor Parker been working on recently?
He had been focusing all his efforts on studying the solar disk that was stolen from us yesterday. The police suspect him of having committed the theft, but personally, I strongly doubt it. I have known Mr. Parker for a long time. The disk was at his disposal. I rather think he has hidden it somewhere, for a reason I do not yet know. Miguel, resume your reading. Maybe it will enlighten Mr. Ryan.
A long time ago, under the reign of Liege, the Armadas lived in peace at Tehuanaco. Until the day the fair-haired man appeared. He wore a metal mask and controlled the fire of the gods, the solar disk. He overthrew the king of the Armadas and became the god of gods, Nyarlathotepec, the rampant chaos. With the power of the solar disk, Nyarlathotepec taught the Armadas to go back through time. Back to the reign of the Great Old Ones, well before the birth of man. The power of the Great Old Ones was matched only by their cruelty. As their slaves revolted, the Great Old Ones were outraged beyond all measure and entrapped the slaves as prisoners within the eternal ice of the South Pole. Nyarlathotepec told the Armadas that he who freed the prisoners of ice would become possessed by the spirit of their masters and be able to recall the Great Old Ones to Earth, beyond the boundaries of time. However, they would have to await a favorable astral conjunction and utter the accursed incantation on a magical site. Thus, what had previously been would return yet again. Give me the solar disk. Schnell!
Unfortunately, dear sir, it was stolen from us yesterday.
Verdammt! No funny business. The disk.
Senor, this office is not open to the public.
Where is the solar disk? I am not in the mood for jokes, Herr Doctor, as you can see.
I see nothing, dear sir. I am blind.
It what?
There are strange eons where even death may die.
Is that me? Like from a different universe?
What's going on here?
The police will soon be here, Mr. Ryan. They mustn't find you here. Take this page from OTR 2832. It will be useful to you. Hide here, both of you. Son of a him. Hurry!
He is finished, that one. Ah, the bullet shattered a rib and perforated his liver. No, the bullet went through the heart. The heart is on the left, see? Whatever, he's dead.
Let's go in. Where are the man and the woman who came in here a minute ago? Dios mío. Come with us!
Police, no entry.
Oh, we're really in a mess now. The library's surely being watched by the police. I'm going up to the terrace. Maybe I can find some trace of my father there.
Diane, wait!
Okay, so a lot of things have actually happened in this whole cutscene over here, and I would like to comment on them, but I'm a little worried that this might be yet another time-critical sequence, because after all, the police are looking for me. But in the worst case, I'm going to save, and in the worst case scenario, I'll just, reload if they catch me and kill me. So, first of all, I'm not quite sure I understood the whole tale from the book about the old ones, because it seems that the prisoners of ice, the titular prisoners of ice, are actually the slaves, the rebellious slaves of the old ones, as opposed to willing servants. But then it also mentioned that whoever frees them is going to get possessed by the old ones. So, and then it showed the monsters from the previous parts of the game. So, I guess it works like a curse of sorts. The old ones have imprisoned the prisoners of ice in the ice for the crime of rebelling against them, and then placed a curse on them so that whoever frees them becomes a monster enthralled by the will of the old ones. So that would mean the creatures are actually like they were human at some point, but they freed the prisoners of ice, which brought upon them the curse of the old ones and transformed them into those monsters. At least that's my working assumption for now. Now, further on, there was a pretty weird sequence, which seems mightily, important in the grand scheme of the story, because I was pretty sure that a portal of some kind has opened, and like an exact copy of Ryan right next to his uniform has appeared, and then blasted the guy, the German, with like a laser rifle or something, and literally obliterated him. Like he's gone. He doesn't. There isn't even any body left. And then he disappeared. And also he quoted Necronomicon. With strange eons, even death may die, is a very famous passage from the Necronomicon, which is actually part of a larger quote. It isn't dead what can eternal lie, and with strange eons even death may die, which is a passage referencing Cthulhu and the fact that he's sleeping on the bottom of the ocean in the sunken city of Relay, but even though he's been sleeping for millennia, he isn't dead, and he's still, like in his sleep, he's still influencing mortals. So that was interesting, and I wonder if this game will actually deal with, like, alternate universes, or maybe even straight up time travel at some point. I haven't read all of the Lovecraft short stories. As I said, I only read the most popular ones, but from ones that I've read, I don't remember. Well, wait, actually I do. There were there is at least one short story that I read. I don't remember the title. That dealt with, well, maybe not time travel per se, but it was like it detailed visions of the future, which incidentally involved it's equal parts funny and kind of disgusting to me, because this terrifying vision of the future that was supposed to be bone chilling and whatever, to Lovecraft, this was New York City overrun by immigrants, basically. Like, he was writing about hordes of slanted-eyed people, Mongol hordes with yellow skin and whatever, because obviously Lovecraft was like pretty racist. He, even for the standards of the time, he was a pretty big racist, and infamously he even had a cat who he had a cat called Niggerman, so there is that. Yeah. So actually there were, even in the limited pool of the short stories that I've read, there were like kind of time travel ideas. I'm moving around because as I've seen in the past cutscene, this game is pretty bonkers, because if it detects that I'm not doing anything for a little amount of time, it starts to replay its own intro even in the middle of a conversation, which is just crazy. And by the way, I do have a GOG copy in case you were wondering about that. So I'm not sure if there's something wrong with my setup, if it doesn't, for example, like Windows 10 or something, or if it's something that's in the base game originally as well. But having elaborated upon all of that, let me explore this room, because I guess this segment isn't time critical after all. Nobody has found me. Strange geometric symbol. Nobody has found me yet. A tapestry rather. A conquistador. The Night of Sadness. Okay. I do have a page from the book. Jorge said it might be of use to me, but I don't know what's on it exactly, because the game isn't really telling me. Anything else here? Tapestry. I can't interact with any of those, so I guess it's time to leave then. This guy's dead. I've explored the statues before, and the pedestal and all that, and can't interact with the body, so the only thing is to do is to leave. Although that seems mightily unwise, because you'd think the police would have...
Diane, I thought you were already on the terrace.
Well, it's not as easy as I thought it would be. First, we need to find a way to reach the 3 ledges in this room.
Okay, there are huge piles of books. Can't take them all, yeah, probably. There's a stick. Must be the curators. Okay, let's take it. Pile of books. Why weren't they put back in their place? Well, I'm not sure. But those are some particular books. Shakespeare? But I'm not sure which one of the books by Shakespeare. Sophocles, so some Greek plays. Impossible to look through it. Why? And Goethe. What does it mean, this book is a dummy box? I don't understand that. Can I read any of them? Well, apparently not. Okay, maybe I can talk to her about them?
How can we reach the terrace?
My father told me that certain mechanisms provided access to it.
What sort of mechanisms?
I don't know. I merely overheard my father one day mention their existence to Jorge, the curator. My father often came to work here.
Okay, so she mentioned that there are three ledges, right?
How can we reach the terrace?
My father told me that certain mechanisms provided access to it.
What sort of mechanisms?
I don't know.
She said there are three ledges. Still a policeman left in the hall of the library. I was just there, so I'm not sure why they didn't catch me, but there are three ledges and I do have 3 books, so presumably they are somehow linked, but maybe I can talk to her about them? Apparently that's stupid. What about the note? Well, she doesn't have anything to say about it. Because it was literally the same situation before, right? There were books plural, and then there was a single. Wait. Okay, again. That's ridiculous. Like really, I am a patient man overall, but this just isn't fun to me. Like it has nothing to do. I can get through it, and I will, and I won't like rage quit or something. But ultimately, there's just nothing fun about it to me. You know, like look at it. It literally is no different to all of the other books. It's just you have to scan it pixel by pixel, and if not for the subtitles, you would have never in a million years guessed that there is something different about this particular book as opposed to the books plural right next to it. So
Would you believe it? It's a book by the Wright brothers.
I'm not a fan of that. And the panel swivels to the left. Yeah, so it uncovered
Diane, I found a secret passage. Follow me.
a passage to the upper floor. And there is a ladder on the upper floor, so that should allow me to... to ascend higher. There's a statue, nice smile. Might trigger a trap. Okay, let's go up. Oh, come on! Come on! Literally, it's barely higher than his own height, and he says it's impossible to climb up because one of the rungs of the ladder is broken, but I have this, so maybe I can combine it to create a new one. How would that even... like, that would never... disregarding the fact that this is all pointless because this ladder is barely even higher than him, so one missing rung shouldn't be a problem. Even if we assumed it is a problem, then how would that even work? If it's broken, then how would you replace it with a wooden stick? Like, that doesn't make sense. It's a kind of, you know, like distinct branch of video game logic that only makes sense if you remember that it's a game, and it was trying to create a scenario for the player as opposed to presenting some riddle that would actually make sense in a real life situation. Okay, I really hope there's not another A book among those books plural, but at this point I wouldn't really count on it. Okay, there's... Look at it and tell me in good conscience that this is an quote-unquote empty space. Like, there's literally books here. I'm literally pointing at books here, and it's blatantly lying to my face about it being an empty space on the shelf. So presumably space is empty. Presumably I need to bring back those. Now how would I order them? Presumably in a library they would have been ordered alphabetically, right? So C D F G. So gather first. Then O. C D F G H O. So, and then Shakespeare, and then Sophocles. Okay, I guess presumably this wasn't correct, judging from the fact that nothing happened. Okay, so maybe like chronologically, by the time when they were written, so it would be Sophocles first, it being an ancient Greek playwright, then Shakespeare, and then Goethe. Yeah, that doesn't. Well, on one hand, that kind of doesn't make sense for a library, but I guess it does make sense for a secret switch, because obviously everyone could.
Come on, Diane.
Everyone could have put them in alphabetical order, but to put them in a chronological order, you have to, have some very slight idea of what you're doing. There's a switch over here. What did it do? There's a book by Leonardo da Vinci. Let's take a closer look at the book. It's some kind of a crane. Lift system using a rope. But what about it? 48 again. Interesting. That's the exact same page that was in the other book back at the Edwards base.
Ryan, what are you staring at?
Nothing.
Okay,
Pull yourself together, Ryan.
Was he staring at her breasts?
Forgive. Diane, let's stop wasting time. There's a stairway.
Okay. So there's a bunch of statues. Bust of Homer. Oh. And apparently I uncovered something, but I can't, take it back. So hopefully that was Dante Alighieri, Edgar Allan Poe, Molière, and Shakespeare. So presumably it's again chronological, right? So I guess, judging from the fact that I clicked Homer first, sort of reflexively, without thinking, and it did something, so I must say I'm kind of blurry on the exact, I should remember that by all accounts, but I'm kind of blurry on the exact dates of, the rest of their lifetimes. I'm pretty sure Dante was out of those, although, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Oh, well, I guess I was wrong. So I guess maybe it's. Okay, apparently the rest don't do anything either way. So it's not necessarily that I've been wrong. It's just it's not what I'm supposed to be doing. There's a hiding box, key inside. It's bound to be of use. Okay. Lock that matches this key. Can I go back? Down, like, or something? So I don't think I can... Ah, there's literally a door to the terrace, so, which again is very inconspicuous. If it was not for the subtitles, I would have never...
The door's open! Come on, Diane. We may be able to find your father's trail.
That's strange. I once saw snapshots of these 3 statues on my father's desk.
Okay. What about them? Statue of Venus, Jupiter. Okay, didn't really want to go up there. And this one? Seems I can't really comment on this one. What about you?
Do you see anything?
No, nothing yet.
Ah, there are more, and this is the disco balls. Yeah, right. Jupiter. I do have a page from the book, but I'm not sure, like, because I'm not even sure what the page is describing exactly. Okay, apparently it's just pretty. Oh, you can
Ryan,
jump.
what are you doing?
I'm not sure, to be honest. But apparently I can jump from across one to the other. But what's the point? I'm not sure what I'm doing, to be exactly honest. Ah, there's a disc. It has not been cut from the stone. Ah, so he has
Diane,
hidden...
take a look at this. There's something strange about this statue.
We need to take a closer look.
It's not the original disc. Could this be the one your father is suspected of stealing?
Yeah.
Throw it to me. Ryan!
Wunderbar! Congratulations on all your acrobatics, my good friend. I knew you were no ordinary tourist. I've had you followed since your arrival in Buenos Aires. Unfortunately, my assistant Holland was not sufficiently cautious. Now, if you would be kind enough to hand over the solar disk to my collaborators?
Schloss Adler Base, 17th of January, 1937.
Scratch, cell wall. Must talk. Important.
Presumably I'm supposed to only do it when they are not looking, right? But first I want to... Okay, I have a stool.
Scratch, cell wall.
Okay, come, shut up. I'm trying to explore. It looks as if it falls down. I want to explore the cell first. There is a spoon, mestin, and tumbler. Okay, I'll take all of the items, because presumably I'm going to...
Cell wall. Must talk. Important.
Okay, that might have been a mistake, because... Oh, he didn't even care. Scratch with the spoon, right?
Listen to me carefully before they come back. In May 1910, I arrived at the small village of ILLSMOUTH to write a science article. But there, I discovered an evil cult that was plotting the return to Earth of the Great Old Ones. Halley's Comet was soon due to light up the heavens. The Great Old Ones would cross the thresholds of time and subjugate the human race. In return, the sorcerer Narakamus and his faithful would become immortal. A few minutes before the comet arrived, I managed to eradicate this evil cult.
Okay. It's weird how, because I'm like 98% sure. Okay, I'll talk a little bit later, because this seems to be a rather intense scenario.
Must find a way of escaping. Warn the world. The Nazis have gotten hold of a monstrous weapon.
Ah, so I guess I'm only talking with him if the guard is not looking, because he's periodically checking the other cells, but it seems he's also taking the other prisoners away at this point.
Dietrich, the commander of Schloss Adler, is mad. You are our only hope.
Outside, Herr Professor.
Well, I guess I'm the last one left, so maybe I can do something with the hole in the wall.
Herr Lieutenant, we know that you are working for the American Secret Service. We even know that you are an orphan, and that you owe your name to the metal plate you were wearing at the time you were found. Ah, Jan was engraved on it, yeah? Are you saying you are going to write and sign a message which I shall send to Washington? You will tell your superiors that your investigation is proceeding and that they need not worry. Thus, you will avoid any further suffering for your 3 companions. The young woman will not hold out for much longer, you know. 10 minutes! I will be back in 10 minutes!
Am I actually supposed to do that? Or... page from a book, a pen, a sheet of paper. Can I...
Well, Lieutenant Ryan's a message? Poor fool. Escort this young fool to the Red Hall! Schnell!
Well, I guess not. Because they're going to execute me now, right?
Fire!
Well, I guess I was not supposed to do that. And instead, probably, I'm supposed to use the 10 minutes that I have before he returns to actually, you know, escape or at least inconvenience him somehow. Oh, actually, wait, is it stuck here or something? It's weird. But oh, I guess this is... The Trouble Joker is an autosave slot, because I remembered that it did save somewhere. If it saved earlier than the end of the sequence, then I'm going to probably cut it out. So be right back. No, it just saved. Just saved where I was. So I do have this stool, which apparently is not too wobbly. So maybe I can use it to like smack one of them across the head or something. Can I? Forgot it's locked. Okay, that didn't do anything. Ah, okay, so I guess I use that to clog the drain?
Raus! Schnell!
Now... Wait, where did he... Okay, so that they just shot me again. So I'm not sure... what's that about? I thought I might be given the chance to, use the stool on the guard to knock him out. But maybe it's the same way as it was with the monster, like that it's very time sensitive, and that I only have a very short window to do it. Anything on him? Key to the cell. Well, but the cell is already opened. Is it only a key to my cell? Wait, how does that help me? Like, it was already opened, so paper stuck in the piping. So how does that... Because maybe it's a key to the other cells as well. But it doesn't look like I can even interact with them. And guard might come in if I don't lock the door. But I've already knocked him out, so what's the... Like, why doesn't he want to flee? It doesn't look like I can interact with anything else, and it's probably... Okay. So that was something, but I'm not sure how that was. How did that help me? In the long run, because all that I achieved is getting a key to a cell that, first of all, was already opened, because the guard opened it when he entered, and second, Ryan himself didn't even want to leave, so... Ah, there's a ventilation grill, so maybe I can move this. Wait, let's lock this, just to avoid suspicion from the other guard that's patrolling. Now let's move this. And then try to reach this. Okay, that doesn't really work. So, to be honest, yeah, maybe I can stack them. Yeah, right. Okay. Screwed in. I do have a spoon, I guess. Actually, how would you unscrew a ventilation grill with a spoon? That seems like a pretty tall order to me. Apparently I do have...
Obersturmführer Dietrich is slowly losing his senses.
Shut up! He's probably got microphones everywhere.
The prisoners have been taken to the laboratory. Obersturmführer Dietrich is preparing a new experiment. You are required. Schnell!
I do have a choice here, and I'm not really sure which path am I supposed to take. But let's go here for now.
Full alert! An American has escaped. Bring him back, dead or alive. He must not leave Schloss Adler.
Wow, that's a very weird looking location. Oh, and there's one of the prisoners of ice, I guess. Prisoner preserved inside the ice. And breaking the ice is out of the question. Yeah, right, because I would be transformed into one of those. It portrays a man placing something into the eyes of a stone titan. Because if I freed him, I myself would be transformed into the slave of the old ones, right? And that's what happened to the others. But this episode has been long enough. Though before I end it, I wanted to comment on something. The professor in the other cell mentioned the town of ILLSMOUTH, and I'm like 98% sure that the town, the very famous town in the Lovecraftian mythos is called INNSMOUTH, with 2 N's. So I'm not sure what's that about. Like, is it some kind of weird... Because obviously it can't be a copyright issue. This whole game is based on Cthulhu mythos, and it directly references Cthulhu himself and the old ones. So, like, why is it called ILLSMOUTH and not INNSMOUTH? I don't... Because if it's supposed to be a different town, then why not choose a totally different name? And if it's supposed to be INNSMOUTH, then why didn't they just call it INNSMOUTH in the first place? That's what I'm wondering. But I guess maybe I'll learn the answer at some point. For now, I'm going to save and actually end it here. So that's all for this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!